So, good evening, guys, and welcome to a little delayed, I do apologise, but another Sunday evening at P0. Tonight it is round 11, and it is our fourth instalment of the week on the channel of Hungary. Oh, it's actually only our third instalment because we missed out on Realistic, because my headset was naffed on Thursday. So, third Hungary of the week. Good evening, Skarma, Adam, Rob, Jock, and Mick. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're all very well. I wish you all a very good race this evening. Hopefully some no nasty weather in to cause any disruptions. And I think Matoman comes into this evening with some strong pace in hand, doing a little bit of a practice session beforehand, and he was only a few tenths away from me on the same tile, so Matoman could show some strong pace this evening. Can I get a quick rundown of things before we get some drivers going out on track? Let's go to the page. And let's see what we got. So I'll just go a quick run through because it saved me scrolling backwards and forwards through points. So we've got... Is that? Oh no, that's results. So in the championship we've got Rob Wills leading the way. He has a 27-point advantage, no, a 37-point advantage at the top. Matty P2, Shiv P3, Matoman 4, Mika Lando P5, Dixie P6, Skarma 7, Mick 8, Leon 9, Laverick 10, Pedro 11, Keith P12, Yeri 13, Jock 14, Speechy 15, Brown P16, Rodders P17, Alwyn at P18, Dale 19, and Metcalf in P20. Constructor standings, we have Ferrari leading the way, Rob and Adam, and then we've got McLaren in P2 of Shiv and Keith, Williams in P3 of Matty and Dale, Alfa Romeo P4 and Matty and Alwyn, Matoman and Alwyn. P5 is Mercedes of Skarma and Leon. Then in 6th we have Alpha Tauri, Mika Lando and Pedro. In 7th we have a Red Bull of Mick and Speechy. In 8th Aston Martin is Laverick and Metcalf. P9 Alpine, Jock and Yeri, and in P10 Haas, Brown Dog and Rodders. Got some drivers out on track at the moment. A little mixture of tyres, some medium, some soft, and some very aggressive outlaps, which is not the ideal thing here. An aggressive outlap, so this is the thing with Hungary, tyre temperatures are your biggest battle in qualifying trim and in qualifying runs, so nice steady slow outlaps, keeping the wear down as well, because a good 60% lap will still provoke 2 to 3% tyre wear when you're opening a fast lap, which is can you see Paul's rear end? Let's go to the Mercedes. Are we going to get a view of its bottom? Oh look, it's going to give you it just now. There you go, Stephen. Right on cue. The game obliges. What's the chances of that? So Brown Dog, one of our first men top of the lap, is coming through the second DRS one, down the hill towards turn 2. So sector 1 split is going to be somewhere in the 27s here for Brown Dog, 27-2. First sector, who is that we have ahead? I think it may be Rob Wills in the Ferrari. Be very careful that inside curb turn 5, it will snatch the car round. In the hairpin is 6 and 7. Want to use as much of the curb but stay away from the big sausage on the inside. Then we've got Adam having a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 7. 8, 9 and 10, and then through the fast flick of 11, very careful here, very easy to pick up on invalidation and lose the rear of the car. 55.3 sector 2, which looks to, I think, going to put Brown Dog somewhere in the 17s or 18s come the end of the lap here. So 1 corner to go, tyres will be absolutely baking. I wonder who has the best package tonight. Well, and it is a 17.7 for Brown Dog, so I say it's a 17 or 18, he was right in between that. A 16.4 though for Mick. Let's go to Alvin, he's on an invalidated lap. We have Dale on his medium compound tyre coming down here. We've got a few guys coming to the line, so we'll watch that. Rob Wills goes into P2 in a 17.3, then Keith P3 in a 17.5. We get Yeri slotting in there, and Shiv now in a 17.3 in the medium compound tyre. That's a good opening lap here. Where is Dale going to go in his medium compounds? An 18.3 into P7, Alvin Evans is going to have to go again. How is Matoman getting on? Our old championship leader. I know Adam is running the best package here because my setup is OP here. I think my pace in Wednesday night proved it. In the hands of a good driver it'd be even better. As Chubby Slug goes in a 16.6 on the medium compound tyre, only a couple of tenths away from the soft, so Matoman very much off the look of the first runs in the driving seat at the moment. How is Alwyn getting on as he heads up to turn 5 for the first time? Adam lives not touch control on and spun. You dope. That cracks me up, Adam. So Alwyn heading into the last couple of corners now. A long old race, Hungary as well. I feel like you're always against it. He's going to come into the pits then. So let's go and work with Jock, the Flying Scotsman of P0, as he has a bit of a moment there on the turn 8 curb. How much speed can he carry through 11? Pretty reasonable, 54.7 sector 2 split, so 16s here I think for Jock coming up. And it's a 16.6 Jock goes into P3. Adam Clark is great. Let's go to Mr. Adam out on the medium compound tyre. He's having a nice leisurely outwork. Which is the way I like to do it, Hungary. I do not like to be pushing too hard. Michelando, how's he getting on heading down the hill towards turn 2? He's one of the only men on a hot lap now, so we'll stay with Chris. Staying well away from that curb at turn 4, so there's a good chunk of time in turn 4 there for Chris. As Jock gets well out the way there, and he carries a lot of speed into that chicane there, really abusing the curb on the inside, so he's got that car set up pretty soft. It's a 54.8, so Chris White's looking to be the 16.8 mark, I think, 16.9. He's definitely going to be in the 16s. He could even be better though. His last sector could be better than others. We see him go close to Jock and Chubby Slug here, I think. That maybe actually might be the ballpark of where Chris is going to be here. DRS open, he goes towards the line, and it's a 16.6. He actually splits the two drivers. So Michelando into P4. Good evening, Shiv. Hope you are doing well, sir. Chubby Slug a couple of tenths up on his medium compound tyre. He's going to go into pole position here. He does a 16.3 on the medium tyre, and well, that is a very, very strong lap there from Matoman. How's Matty, the man on form? Let's stay with the Williams man. Oh, and he's just backed out the lap there. So Matty chooses to get out. It maybe he'd already set his lap. Oh, wait there, chat. Bear with me 1 second, because I'm still in broadcast. I'm not in the party. 1 second. Apologies. Just realised I was doing all this in game chat. Oops. So, should be okay now. Apologies for that one, guys. So R11 Evans, he's invalidated another run. How's Dixie getting on? He is also invalidated, so he's probably just going to go in and go to the softs now. Let's see who's on a lap further ahead. Is Keith on one here? I think Keith might have some fuel in the car. We've got Rob Wills a tenth up. Sector one split was a tenth up anyway. It's really, the car gets very light in turn 11 now. He's a couple of tenths up, but a lot of traffic here to contend to. And yeah, he's just parked on the apex of the corner. And that is definitely a penalty. I am afraid for Yeri will need to expect that, because Rob Wills was 2.5 tenths up on his lap. And Yeri just parked on the apex of turn 12. It's just a place you can't be. We'll go to Skarma as he comes flying through turns 2 and 3 on his second hot lap of the day. And he is a couple of tenths up sector 1. And he's very close to invalidating the lap there at turn 4. And I thought he was going to touch that inside curb at 5 there, and you see him just open the steering ever so slightly. Yeah, oh yeah, no. I would be pretty annoyed as well, SPW. The guys could have just checked up and let him go through the corner and then continued round, but yeah, just lack of awareness. Good, much better carry speed there for Skarma. I think he lost some time in the start of the middle sector, but he carried much better speed this time around on turn 11, and I feel like that's one of the corners where drivers here will make up most time. So last corners, keep it up nice and tight to the apex, opens up the steering, DRS open, to the line he goes, and he goes on to pole position on the soft compound tyres, a 16.2 so far for Skarma, and he sets the pace of the session. Rob Wills going again, he's a couple of corners from home, a couple of tenths up. You're right, Stephen. Ah, yes. No, we do not. So Rob Wills, is he going to improve? He does. He goes to P6. It's a 16.8, finds nearly half a second, and I think that was Shiv there on his soft compound tyre. Goes to a 16.5 and puts himself inside that top 4. Let's go to Laverick. So was he held up a bit there, although Laverick looks to me like he's another man on a second run. So Mick just opening the lap, he's in P3 at the moment. We'll see exactly where he puts his Red Bull. So sector 1 split coming up for Mick, and again another driver with a lot of traffic ahead, so he's going to have to hope that these guys are very aware and get well out of the way. He's a 10th up sector 1. He's much more aggressive, probably the most aggressive driver we've seen on turn 4 in Rodders. Oh, I don't know what Rodders is doing here. He needs to get out of the way of Mick, and I don't know what is going on. I think Rodders may be on a lap as well, in fact. And Mick's going to have to get out of that, so I think Rodders was in a lap, but it's too late now. But that's, Rodders has not done anything wrong there. If he's on a hot lap, I know Mick will be annoyed, but Rodders is on a hot lap just the same. And he is fully entitled to be on the lap, so it's not like he was on an out lap or an in lap. So Laverick got his Aston Martin up to P4. Shiv's on an invalidated run, Jock's just on an out lap. Let's see what's happening further down the order. Matty coming through turn 3 as we speak, heading up to the first split of the sector 1. So where is Matty? 4 tenths up first sector, and he's very, very nice through turn 4. Nice and close to the curb on the exit 5, but not getting too close, of course that'll mess the car up. Through 6 and 7, very nice. And 8, 9 and 10's essentially just 3 corners that just come at you one after the other. Then or 10 and 11, sorry, through 11, nice. Like, doesn't use too much of the curb on the inside, but he's nearly a second up here. So Matty on par here with Skarma, maybe even enough. In fact, he will go on to pole position here, I think. How much time will he find? I think that was a medium lap in his first run as well, so we will see a big gain in the last sector. Could we see a 15.8 here for Matty? It's a 15.9, a first diving into the 15s, and on to provisional pole now for Matty. How is Jock getting on? He's a 10th up at the moment. And Dixie somewhere in the melee on his soft compound tyre goes into P3 and a 16.3, and that's a tidy enough looking lap. He needs to stop pushing now though. He does not want to be burning these tyres out in case he starts the race on that. That's crazy. So Adam's been a plonker. So who we got further down? Jocks at a moment or two. Let's see how Rob Wills is getting on. He's onto the soft compound tyre. A little bit up sector 1. So let's get on board. Traffic doing well there for Rob to stay well out of his way. He's coming to the sector 2 split, more aggressive in the turn 11 curb there. Half a second up for Rob Wills. Championship leader looking to get himself in amongst that second row of the grid. If he's got any more time in the pocket through the last couple of corners, could he put it onto the front row? This will be it for Rob, though. He'll not want to do a second lap on the tyre and then start the race on it. So DRS open and Rob is going to go. He goes on to pole position as it stands. It's a 15.7 for Rob Wills. Matty is just coming out of the pits, but it's going to be tough here and you do not want to be pushing that hard on an outlap. Oh, what's happened there to Adam? He's going to have to get out of the way of drivers coming through there. And I don't think these guys now will have enough time. Maybe they will just to get round. But the outlaps are going to have to be pretty aggressive. Let's go further down the grid as we get on board with Mika Lando. He just improves. Shivs on an invalidated run. Alwyn Evans is coming through the middle sector. We can stay with him for now. Nah, Mick, it's unfortunate, mate, but Rodders was on a hot lap as well, mate. And that's just the unfortunate thing when you come up to another driver and they're on a hot lap too. He wasn't on an out lap or an in lap, mate. He was genuinely trying to set a lap time. So Arwen through the last corner, DRS open. Can he find some time? He is going to. He finds a chunk of time. He goes to P4, it's a 16.0. So Alwyn Evans is P4 at best for the session. Dale having another moment. Rodders having another moment. Dale Hunter coming through the last corner. He stayed in a medium compound tyre. That's interesting. He does improve to a 17.8, but it's not enough. Brown Dog, DRS open. The deploys all over. He goes to P14 now. Who else do we have on laps? That is the question. Let's get through. We have Laverick coming through the last couple of corners. Yes, we do. So it's over for Jock. He is P8 at best at the line. Skarma now onto pole position by 6/100ths of a second. And then we realise Skarma was on a lap. So Skarma now onto provisional pole. Can anybody dislodge him? Laverick only good enough for P6. Matty session's over. Rob Wills not on one, and then neither is Mika. Arwen Evans is over. Dixie, is Dixie on the lap? He is. He's a little bit up, but he's got traffic and Brown Dog in the middle of the track here. The guys need to be aware, just because the session's over, there may be other drivers on a lap. Where is Chubby Slug? Chubby Slug is up massively, a mid-15 inbound here for Mattoman. He's timed this to perfection, and I think Matt is going to dislodge Skarma come the end of the session here. So Mattoman out the last corner, he's looking nice and steady. DRS will open up, and it's going to be a low 15 for Matt. It's a 15.2. He goes on to pole position by half a second. How is Dale getting on? He's on another lap. I think he may just be going to the line, so I'm intrigued by Dixie. How is Dixie getting on? It's shown it's only a 10th up A tenth would find, I wouldn't even find him a position. He needs some more time out the last corner. So here we go. Adam to the line. Where does he improve to? He goes to the P6. It's a 15.9 for Adam, and I think that is qualifying over. So Matoman on to pole by half a second. Skarma P2. Rob Wills, our championship leader, P3. Matty P4. Mika P5. Dixie 6. Arwin 7. Laverick 8. Shiv P9. Jock P10. Mick 11. Yeri 12. Keith 13. Leon 14, Brown Dog 15, Dale Sunter P16, and Rodders unfortunately couldn't get a lap in. I think every time he'd get on a hot lap, somebody caught him up, and he got himself in a bit of traffic, and he just got pushed out of the lap. So, on to the race, 36 laps ahead of the drivers, 36 long laps at Hungary as well. I can vouch for that. So, the curtain falls on round 11 qualifying for P0. Matoman gets yet another pole position. Skarma, though, I'm hoping that he can keep his head off the line. The pace is good. He needs to not over push. The pace is there. He needs to not overthink it. Not overuse that energy early, because that hurts him so bad. If he can just stay calm and get himself in through the first couple of laps and into a steady rhythm, we may see Skarma go get some good results. Oh my god, Stephen. Oh my god. Why did you do that to me, SPW? And you know exactly what I'm talking about if you're still watching. So well done to Matt, Skarma, Rob, our top 3 from qualifying. Good evening, Mr. Rage. We always done just in time for the race start. It's like, you know, I hate seeing Matoman doing well. Don't whop me, Stephen, that frog. Excuse the cough. Chet, I do apologise. I want a chocolate sundae. I've never even seen that. Chocolate sundae would be good. Just ice cream in general would be nice. It's pretty warm. So weather looking pretty dry and clear. There's nothing wrong with frogs, just it's not what I needed to see at the moment. So we will get set. The guys will just be picking their tyres. Obviously those outside the top 10 have that free choice of where they go. So, a little delay. I hope there is no bugs or breakages in the lobby. And Matoman holding a half a second gap. I think this could be a bit disheartening for those behind him, because if he's putting half a second on these guys every lap, he's going to be way ahead of the field very, very quickly. And good luck to everybody. And now we have the timer on the screen. So 30 seconds, the guys will do their final preparations, and then we will get on our formation lap, and they will be set for 36 laps. Mataman is prone to some mistakes. So, out in the formation lap that they go, row 1 of round 11 P0 at Hungary will be Chubby Slug and Scammer. Row 2 will be Rob Wills and Matty. Row 3, Mika and Dixie. Row 4, Arwin and Laverick. Row 5, Shiv and Jock. Row 6, Mick and Yerry. Row 7, Keith and Leon. Row 8, Brown Dog and Dale. And row 9, Rodders. Rob says, hopefully. Oof. Oof. So let's get some data up. Let's have a little look at the tyres outside the top 10. So Mick, Keith, Leon, Brown Dog, Dale all in the medium compound tyre. Rodders and Yerry went for the hard compound. And then all of our top 10 on that soft compound tyre. Nobody could get through in the medium. I think Mataman would have got through in the medium tyre. He would have been starting about P5. But with the pace in the softs, I don't think he will worry too much. So we'll go to position changes for the early start so people can get a look at exactly what's going on. And Rodders has had a bit of a moment. So hopefully Mataman sees that. He probably wants to check the grid up as much as possible here because he's got a big old gap to that Haas. Although he's pushing on, he's happy to go sit in the grid for 3 days. And we've now got somebody else building a bit of a gap here. What is going on here? So we've got a driver out of position and then, oh, some tactics in play. I don't think you can be out of position in a formation lap and then build gaps. I think that may be against the rules a little bit. Don't know what you make of that one. So, we will go to Rodders. He's managed to catch back up to the back of the grid. So, Rodders will line up and we will get set for round 11 at P0. Hopefully it stays in this view. Oh. So, any moment now we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the Hungarian Grand Prix for P0 is away, and I'm going to have to go on board because we're not getting a good view, and Matt gets a very good start of the front row, so Scarman's not going to be able to put him under any pressure. But look at this, we get Rob Wills, Mika Lando and Matty 3 abreast into turn 1. We'll go to the broadcast view now as they all filter through, and somebody gets squeezed out there, an Alpha Tauri, I think that was Mika. Rob Wills just squeezing up beside the three cars into one getting pushed out. It wouldn't quite work out, so we've got Matty managing to find a position as they go 3 wide yet again in the early phases. Dixie now manages to fill it into line and somebody is hard into the wall. I think that is Jock, and is he still in the race? That is the question. Somehow Jock's managed to keep the car in one piece. He hit that wall very, very hard, so Mataman leads the way and he's almost already broke that DRS gap. But look at Arwin's Dixie, Mika Lando's lost out a few positions. Laverick managed to gain 3 as we see them all filter through the chicane for the first time this evening. Mataman now got that gap out to 1.4 seconds already. And the train ahead is going to be a bit of a train behind Scarman. This is where he needs to keep his cool. Yes, he's got 10 drivers all sitting in his DRS at the moment, but there's a couple of laps still to go. It takes one mistake in that queue and the gap will open up very quickly, but don't be surprised Matty wants to put Scarman under attack pretty quickly here. If Matty feels he's got the pace to put Mataman under pressure, he needs to get it done early as Mataman sets the fastest lap of the race in a 22.9, 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds quicker than what Matty done 2 positions behind him. Matt, oh man, got that gap clear of DRS already as Yeri and Shiv do battle further back. Shiv on that soft compound tyre, and you see the superior grip there. He's able to just get on the throttle much more efficiently than Yeri, and it's back into top 10 for Shiv. So Chris Evans is our biggest loser. Jock, of course, having that big moment out of turn 3, and that'll be definitely a warning there for Mika Lando. So first warning will fall for Mika. And the train begins to form. So Mataman's just going to keep his head down now. We're probably not going to see much of him because the train is forming behind, and it's going to be a 6-car train for this podium battle, so it's going to be one worth watching. And then we'll have Mick with a bit of a queue forming behind. Can Mick close up that gap to get himself back inside the DRS? Because once the DRS train starts to pull away, it becomes very, very difficult to stay with it and maintain the pace that the group in front is doing. As Laverick now is starting to fall off the back of that as well, so Dixie will need to be aware, because Laverick is falling off that DRS zone. So here comes Arwin on Dixie. He'll pull to the inside line, but the straight line superiority there of Dixie's car, and Arwin's still going to stick his nose in there, but he's not going to be close enough. Dixie should get the better exit there, and then he'll hold the inside line for turn 2. A little bit of contact there as they head down to turn 2, but Dixie will have the inside line. He should be able to throttle up much earlier than Arwin, and Arwin will keep his nose in there. That's some cracking racing going on here as they go through the kink of 3, still side by side, but eventually Arwin needs to accept that Dixie's able to maintain that position just now, and some good car position in defence there. Rob Wills on the back of Matty, 2 championship protagonists. Mataman just needs to get himself up the road and try and get himself back in a challenging point. Oh, ouch. SPW, ouch. Ouch. Turn 3, no. I don't even want to watch it. So Mika Lando all over the back of Arwin Evans now. Dixie managed to find himself a little bit of a DRS gap. He's not in range, or Arwin is not in range of him, so Arwin's not going to have DRS and Mika Lando will. So Dixie's just got to focus on his gap now, not overuse that energy too early. Is Jock, I think that was Jock coming out the pits there, yes it was. Look at this 3-way battle. So Matty has got through in Skarma, that's obviously under DRS, but Skarma's staying with him. He's not allowing that to knock his confidence, which is good. He's staying cool, he's keeping himself in the fight, and that's all he needs to do. You just need to stay in the fight and opportunities will arise. That is a good shot of the drivers coming through turns 6 and 7 there. I do enjoy that camera angle. Let's go back to this R11 and Mika Lando fight, although Mika is getting a bit of a saving grace here because Jock is giving them DRS. Although Mika is actually back inside the DRS range of Adam now, so Mataman now 4.1 or 4.2 seconds ahead. Absolutely chilling out front. 1/7 of the race down, 5 laps gone, and I think Dixie got himself back in the DRS range of Laverick. Yes he did, as now there's some action going on further ahead, and look, Skarma is really driving comfortably, and the energy advantage shows that's 80%, so Skarma is in a very happy place at the moment. We've seen him qualifying very well in a few races in P0 and just letting it fluster him a little bit, but this looks much better from Paul this evening. Mika Lando now starting to put a bit of pressure back onto Dixie here for P6, but as SPW said in the comments, it is very hard to really mount a big challenge in the overtake, especially if you're in the DRS train, if you do not have any form of ERS advantage. And if you do have an advantage, it usually does you for one overtake, and then that's it. you lose it all and you're just stuck. So you've got to be quite methodical in how you use it here. But let's see, Skarma just fill out the DRS now of the guys in front. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, that is a McLaren. I think it could be Keith. As Rob Wills is making big gains in Matty, and we're going to see a move down into turn 1. Rob Wills able to close up, and we'll see the exit he gets here, gets straight with that DRS open, and can he make the run down into turn 2? It's not going to come this time around. And Mick now got himself up to P8, he's making some good gains. Mick's on that medium compound tyre, of course soft tyre will be getting to a point where they're just not quite all there. A few laps time we may see some guys box off them. See Mika go a bit wide at turn 5. Bear with me 1 second, chat, I need to get myself some water. So I am back. Just had to get myself a little drink there as we see Laverick now into the pits. Shiv trying to make gains in Dixie but can't quite. And now Dixie is all over the back of Skarma, or in Skarma's DRS range, at least in Laverick. And you see here, this is where the pit stop becomes difficult because traffic and the medium tyres will be going for a little bit. So Mick in a strong position. How far is he off the lead at the moment? Only 9 seconds, so be quite a bit ahead. We're going to see some pit stops come up shortly for those going to the hard compound tyre from the softs. That'll come up any minute. In fact, what did Laverick go to? Laverick went to the medium compound tyre, so Laverick, I think, is on a 2-stop. It's a big ask to get the medium tyres from lap 7 of the Grand Prix. Not impossible, but there we go. We see Skarma getting in. He's going to the hard compound tyre. And Mika Lando into the pits. He's also on to the hard compound tyre. So I wonder what strategy everybody will go for here. I know the strategy I have in mind is definitely the most powerful. Do the guys trust it though? That's the question. Mick now all over the back of Dixie. You get a yellow flag in sector 2. What's happened there? Oh god, and Jock's out. Safety car out. Safety car out. So safety car out. A free pit stop coming up for all the guys on the soft compound tyre. Unlucky Jock. So Matoman into the pits. And it's a big win here because they'll be able to keep racing for track position. Yeah, very big dub. It's a nice time. It's a little early for the optimum strategy, but you're going to have a few laps under safety car, so I think you're probably going to be okay. And it's on to a medium compound for Matoman. Mick will take over the lead of the race. Rob Wills chooses the hard compound tyre. It's a double stack for Ferrari, but Adam goes on to the medium compound tyre. That'll be a medium to the end of the race. It will go to the end. No issue at all. So Now he just needs to drive flat out and not get jumped here by Laverick. So good track position there gained from Adam and a couple of guys that had pit. He's got Rob Wells and Matty ahead, but they're on the hard compound tyre. So Adam at the moment, if he can get through, he's net P2. Gary of course could take that hard compound to the end, but it will not be a very fast tyre. And it's just now about how much they can keep it under control. Don't overwork the tyres under the safety car either. You want to keep the wear to an absolute minimum, so only really do your tyre warm up because it's a track where it's not really an issue. Only really do your tyre warm up on when you get the call for safety car in. Or you may even get a late call here, so be prepared every day for a late call because... Oh, we've got some traffic in the back of this. No, I think we're going to do one more lap. So, we will get going for when I would go for the optimum pit. I would pit. My strategy would be to pit on lap 10. So the end of this next lap round, go onto the medium tyres, and that would go to the end of the race. So the medium tyre is now optimally in play, and Chubby Slug there, did he overtake? You can't overtake back markers in the queue. I don't know why guys are doing this. It's not something you can do. They need to stop with this, man. It's a yellow flag on track, no overtaking, guys. It's very simple. I know you are thinking of the right things, but you're only messing each other up. This is why bad things happen under safety car. Just stay in your position and restart the race in the queue, and then you'll get your blue flag. Because now, I think... Did somebody get a penalty? Not yet, but I think Rob is about to get a penalty. He had an illegal overtake. Yeah, I agree. SPW, Mick, the medium, and there we go. The first 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags came through. So safety car will come in this lap. I am convinced of it. You will get the call any moment on the top of the screen. Or maybe not, because Rodgers is not quite caught up. So we're going to go another lap, so that's an even bigger jackpot for those in the medium compound tyre. So I will leave it there for a minute and I will use this opportunity to grab the restroom. Big jet and big. So the running order for the restart will be Mataman, Yeri P2, Brown Dog P3, Rob Wells 4, Matty 5, Dixie 6, Alwyn P7, Shiv P8, Laverick P9, Skalmer 10, Leon 11, Dale P12, Mick 13, Mika 14, Rodders P15 and Keith P16. We've lost Jock from the early phase of this race on lap 7, I think it was there. There's 8. but now in a couple of corners time Matoman will get the call for safety car in this lap. So this is a jackpot now for those that went to the medium compound tyre. It is definitely going to go to the end of this race. So now it's just a case of making it work. Safety car in this lap. So the tyre warming phase begins for all. Matoman will check up the grid and allow the safety car to get away. And then it's down to him when he launches the pack here, so they've got to be careful. Everybody keep it nice and steady. One good strong pace. That's exactly what Matoman's doing here. Nice and steady. So Matoman is now away off the last corner as Jerry has a bit of a moment. We'll filter back through, but we're green flag racing again at Hungary, and I think it's quite a status quo start. Let's look further down the grid as we watch from the rear wings of everybody, and I think the grid actually got dispersed pretty evenly there by everybody, so by Matoman on the restart, so not much is going to happen there. Let's look at Matty here. He is being attacked now by Dixie. Dixie, of course, on that medium compound tyre, so we've got somebody filtering back through. I think that might be Keith now, allowing the blue flag guys to get through. And Dixie on that medium compound tyre, nice and fresh, trying to make some gains nice and early. He's just got to keep it calm. The tyre grip will get him through. And what's happened there? Oh, what's happened there? There's massive contact. We see Shiv in the wall. Mick, he's got through. Who else is? Oh, it's Shiv and Skarma. What has happened there? Ah, poor Skarma. And now look at Adam. He's absolutely hunting here, trying to get through. So here he comes, Matty using some energy. I don't think Adam's going to be close enough to really make a big move into turn one. And Matty able to stay ahead for now. Let's watch Arwen's. He's all over the back of Laverick at the moment. And Arwen's showing some good pace on his hard compound at the moment. Although that was maybe Laverick actually just getting through. So Matoman get the gap already out to 2.9 seconds to Yeri. Yeri of course went to the hard tyres at the very start of the race, so yeah, he's looking to go quite far. We've got Brown Dog here as well, making a little bit of a queue of traffic. He's up in P3, Brown Dog's probably his highest point of the race. And Adam getting punched, he's got a lovely gap now back to Laverick, 2 seconds, so it's all eyes ahead for these guys here. Let's see, another good day in the office inbound for the Ferrari boys as Matoman sets the fastest lap of the race in an 18.9. And here comes Rob Wells, he gets on the energy, DRS also enabled, he's going to go through in an easy move into turn one. We'll watch from the outside, Rodder's not going to defend it much. Can Adam get the run here though on the tyre? He cannot, just been a little bit too aggressive on the front, needs to squeeze that in on the exit of turn one and really get the move done. He'll try and go down the inside now as Matty and Brown Dog go side by side through two in the kink of three. And oh no! And Adam is taken out there. And that is a very interesting one, and that could be a VSC here for the the debris on track, and that's going to be a long drive to the back to the pits there for Adam. And I'm intrigued to, not quite sure. Yeah, I don't really see much more than just bad luck there. Who's that? Who's that? We've got Round Dale's had a moment now. So Matty gaining on Brown Dog now, he'll go to the inside. And I think that will be an easy pass now, yes it is. Yeah, that's an unlucky one. There's that squeeze out. I think feel that Matty came back to track quite aggressively when I think he was fairly squeezed out from Brown Dog there. So it'll be an interesting one to see exactly how it's looked at. But I don't see, there's just not much in it. I honestly feel that's just wrong place, wrong time, man. Because Matty needs to get back onto track, right? Michelando picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. But Brown Dog doing a very, very good effort. He's now been put under pressure with Laverick. Laverick will not make the move down into turn 12. But he probably will sit and be ready to pounce. As we see, talking of pounce, Rob Wills on the back of Yerry. Did he have a moment? It's oh yeah, when he's came over the cutters, see. That's unfortunate, and then Adam gets slapped into the wall. Rob Wills a big move though round the outside on Yerry. Yerry putting up a defence, and he's good on the brakes there, defends it well, but Rob Wills gets another go at DRS, and we'll see here he's going to be forced round the long way at 3. So round he goes, but that inside line is quite powerful on the throttle, and there is just much more grip, and Yerry defends that one off very, very well there. Good driving between the pair. We've got Brown Dog now, he gets passed by Laverick. Brown Dog's medium tyre will be starting to get pretty harum scarum on its life. It will not be feeling good at this point in the race. As Michelando now closes up onto this fight. And we have battles brewing everywhere now. And Michelando looking for an unorthodox move round the outside. At turn 9 he'll creep right up behind Alban at 10. You see a big move down the hill into 12. Not close enough here, and this is where it becomes a bit of a problem. What happened to Keith? Keith had an early incident, and then once the safety car comes out and you're a lap down, it's very hard to recover. Although I think Keith's managed to get himself back onto the lead lap now. Oh no, I think he's still one down. And now Rob Wills eventually gets through for the lead of that race as Matty comes charging him down. Yerry thinks about going back up the inside there, and they nearly make contact. He goes that committed on the brakes into 2. But Rob Wills gets through as we see them fly through the kick to 3. Not towards turn 4, and now Matty will have the difficult task of getting through Yerry. Mika still stuck in this train a little bit. And Brown Dog's went deep there, and he's just going to jump the chicane there. He'll tuck back in behind Michelando. And look at Mick here, 97% energy on a tyre that will go to the end of the race. I think Mick should aim to be pushing through just a little bit quicker. Surely he'll get the run here on Brown Dog off the last corner. Will he have DRS? Yes, he does, and I think that will be him able to go through, and through he goes. Brown Dog though, still in P9. Although Leon Evans is going to look to the inside, he gets hard on the brakes and rolls through, but Brown Dog very aware and goes for the switchback, and that's a good move there. Leon had a big moment of oversteer on the exit of the corner and nearly levelled Brown Dog's rear left tyre, but somehow they both get through. Now Matty has got through into P3. He will get back on the chase of Rob Wills, but Mataman absolutely in cloud 9. He's also on a tyre that will go to the end. He just needs to stay chill. Although if Mataman is somehow able to get the gap out to 20 seconds, he could always take an extra stop. we do not. We don't have an editor, Mr. MRD, so we're a smaller organisation, so it's and we're a bit of an older bunch, some of us, so there's no way I could edit a video. I wouldn't have a clue of what I'm doing. And we are yellow flag in Sector 3. Oh, Brown Dogs at the moment, no, from what was going to be a stellar race, and I think the tyres are gone now. Once you have a spinning, he's going to have to pit now, get in and get himself onto a fresh set of boots here. And Skarmer somehow has made an incredible recovery after having his big moment. He's already on the back of his teammate yet again. And Skarmer could still eye P6 here. As Leon has a moment, and is that Leon letting his teammate go? Was that a moment, or was that Leon allowing his teammate to be released and looking at the bigger picture? If it was, that was very respectful there and good stuff. yeah, Brown Dog having a little bit of a moment. So Mika now on the back at Arwins, and the penalty staying down. We're nearly at 15 laps to go. In fact, Mataman's just ticked us over to 15 laps to go now. And only a couple of guys with penalties, and I'm sure a couple of them are 5 seconds. No, they're not. The 5 seconds has been served. Want to go on board with L. Mickelson. There you go, sir. Getting the chase on, not quite in the DRS range, but he's got plenty of energy, I think, and he is going to get on it and use it. Try and close up that gap. Gap 1.2 to Mika, although Mika gets through. And Arwin Evans, oh, and there's contact! Contact between Mika and Arwin Evans, and Arwin Evans ends up round. Has he ended up in the wall? Any damage? I think he's got away with that one. He has no damage thus yet, but that releases Skarman Leon. And Skarman now back up to P8. And Mick in the DRS range now of Mika Lando. Mick definitely top 5 on the cards here. Yeah, definitely, MRD. We've been going since F1 2019. Or 2018, actually, maybe. And we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So Yeri into the pits. He said enough of his hard compound tyres, so a flutter of pit stops coming in. I wonder if Laverick as well. There's no way Laverick's going to get that medium tyre. Well, he might actually get it to the end. And that's just Yeri coming out the pits. 2016. There's a good chance, SPW. The league, I think we raced, but in terms of the league, we've been going for 2018, I think. I've got my 2016 disc sitting right next to me. What a horrendous game. But just to go and drive Malaysia's nice. Sepang. It's just a nice track. Yes, they will. Jensen Floyd and Mike Messer, that's funny. I've still got 2016. Have you still got yours, Stephen? So the gaps open up, and there's really no more racing, although we've got a little bit further back, Armin and Dale here, so we'll go on board with this battle. And through goes Arwin. Nice. Leon Evans into the pits. He's got off his hard compound tyre pretty early. That's an interesting one there. As Dixie slowly but surely getting himself back up in range. Dixie could still salvage a top 10 here, although these guys going to the soft compound tyres will be hard to catch. That's a big old stint for the softs to the end. Shiv's going to have to pit again, as will Rodders. And as the guys like Mika and Laverick are bold enough to take the medium tyre to the end, it will go to the end from lap 10, no problem. We should reinstall that one time, SPW, and just go race Sepang for the nostalgia factor alone. Good deal, catching up with Rodders. The Miami track's in the Everydays game. It's just a Miami content pack MRD, so like a helmet, gloves, and a race suit and a livery. Everything needs to get the track because they're licensed by the FIA, so they've got to put the official calendar. Oh, Hockenheim, what a track. As Leon Evans there gets through on Dale. Yeah, man. Still nice though in the pre-order, something. Well, we love a freebie. So, battles starting to commence further back in the grid. Although Mika on the back of Laverick, this is an interesting one. Mika eyeing up a top 4 here. It goes very wide and whew, he nearly drops the rear of the car there. And Alwyn Evans on the back of Shiv. It's going to be a tasty little fight. So, is there an overtake coming up? I think Alwyn Evans is going to get through, and Shiv will be looking to box anytime soon, because there's no way that soft tyre is going to get to the end. But Alwyn will get the DRS open on the energy, and we see the speed gain commence, and he will go down the inside into the braking zone. Although Shiv putting up a fight, he's not over with this one. But you see the superior grip shine through, and he gets. I use a T300. Jock. A round one. So here comes Mika on Laverick, and we see he is gaining and gaining and gaining. We'll see a big move into turn 1 here. He's not going to get close enough, but he will close up nicely on the brakes. Struggling just a little bit with understeer there, Mika. You see just a lot of turn. I do not have an F1 wheel, I do not know. It's the standard rim. So it is very much a round one, Jock, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, Mika's still all over the back of Laverick. For some reason we got a little glimpse of Mick there. Just flashing past in the background. I could have. Well, that's true, I could have. But then I wouldn't be a very honest man. Oh, and Mika picks up his first time penalty there from going wide at turn 11. And turn 11 is threatening to do some really bad things to Mika. That rear of the car looking very, very light indeed. Look how close he is to Laverick this time around though. So Mika looking a bit closer. Laverick though got a good chunk of energy, but here he goes. He'll run the grass a little bit, which will give Mika that little bit extra he needs, and down the inside he goes. Laverick trying to come back, but Mika of course has got that DRS assistance down on the run to turn 2, and he will get through. And can he now pull away from Laverick? Laverick though of course has got all that energy on tap, and Mika's rear tyres looking to be in quite a sorry state at the moment. Hopefully he can settle the temperatures down, as Mataman's got that gap out to 18.4 seconds up front. So I think Mataman could now, if he wants to, box to the soft just for comfort. I think he still easily gets through in Rob. He's only got 1 penalty as well, so he will clear that very, very quickly. But he does not have to. The medium tyre will go to the end of the race. And Laverick now fell out. Oh, he's just... Is he going to be close enough? It's 1.001. I don't think he's been close enough to get the DRS. He was literally 1,000th of a second away. So Mika Lando could try and open up that advantage for P4 on the grid, but of course he's got the time penalty. It's like 19 seconds here, I think. SPW 19 to 21 seconds, roughly. So that's why I say I think he could box now and come out right behind Rob and still be very comfortable. In fact, he would split Matty and Rob. Fastest lap point would be very beneficial to Mataman on his recovery in the championship as well, so will he go for it? That's the question. Not this lap around. Shifts it's the fastest lap of the race, and a 17.3. Mataman lapping in the low 19s. It'll be interesting to see exactly what Rob's lapping in at the moment. See how much of an advantage he has. Matt was a 19.2 in his lap. And it's a 19.7 for Rob, so Mataman was half a second a lap faster than Rob, so Mataman can probably go to lap 31, 31, put on the softs, and he will get out ahead of Rob Wills. And I think Mika now managed to get his rear tyres under a bit more control. And he's slowly extending that gap. How many penalties does Mika have? It's 6 seconds, so it's a big ask to get that gap out in 7 laps, but I'm sure he will give it a go. The question is, I don't think Mika can close the distance to top 3, because he is losing time ever so slightly, but Mick's the interesting one. He's got all that spare energy. We'll get on to just tack on to nearly 5 laps to go. In fact, it's 6 laps to go. I do apologise. Mataman's just coming through turn 1 as Dixie picks up his first time penalty of the race, and he's down there giving Shiv a hard time. And somehow been able to drag his car back into the battle for some form of track position, and he's got a couple of positions there ahead. But Mick now all over the back of Laverick. He's in the DRS range as well. So Matt now definitely has the opportunity to take that fastest lap if he would like it. Are we going to see him pit this time around? Let's see if he goes in here. And he is. Mataman is going to go in. So Mataman wants that fastest lap. SPW says he could do with that point, and he is absolutely right. That extra point is huge to Mataman in his championship recovery. Gets down to the pit limiter just nicely, and we'll watch on board with Rob now as he comes round the final, or the second to last corner. Mataman gets his new softs bolted on. He'll be released. And you will see here, I think it's going to be very close, but I think Mataman will stay ahead here. He is back on full throttle. He will have the superior grip coming into turn 1, and it was, so 18 seconds. I am not going to do that one, SPW. I'm not a silly man. I know Skarner. Well, let's go to Mick. Closing right up in Laverick. We're going to see a big burst of energy here from Mick down into turn 2. Can he get that position? He's not going to be able to. So Mick is the relevant battle. Mataman already almost got his penalty get back, so I did say he would open that very quickly. Good evening, Parrot, I hope you are well. So can Mick get this job done on Laverick? He's got 5 laps to do it, but I think Mick should try and clear him this lap and give himself a few laps to see if he can get on the back of Mika Lando. Of course, he maybe not bothered. He knows if he gets Laverick, he's got P4 because Mika's got the penalty, so maybe he's not bothering too hard about forcing the issue through, and that's probably the most sensible approach. And definitely on taps for driver of the day today after his qualifying position. Let's actually look. He was way out of position. He's gained 5, so he started P11. He's got up to P6. And after having a rocked qualifying session, I think he's definitely on par for driver of the day, but then Matoman's got to come in with a shout because he's been in some terrible form and he has been dominant this evening. We're about to see Dixie get himself back inside the top 12 here. Oh, tactics going on here. There's Adam away into Steel Matoma. Oh, he's thinking of the champ at his constructors fight. So, a bit of competition going on with the front and the back of the grid. Adam wants to dislodge Matoman's fastest lap, but he puts it in as a 16.6. And that is going to be a tough old one to fight. Now Adam has the, well, I think he'll be well clear of his teammate actually. Let's go to Mick though, this could be the time. He's going to get on the energy. Laverick is defending with the energy, but you'll see the game begin. Can he get close enough this time around? He goes for a big move this time down on the inside to turn 1. He puts Laverick out of line, so Mick just needs to get the power application right, and I think Laverick gets the better exit, although Mick is not over with this one. Thinks about looking down on the inside to turn 2, but not quite this time around. And that was about as tense as it got for the full race there. As Mataman gets that gap out to 8.6 seconds, he's absolutely in another world at the moment. Mataman's going to take us on to 2 laps to go. He's way off the time now, so he is not going to bother much. How is Dixie getting on? He can't get near. It's a 34.1 for Dixie, so he couldn't quite snatch that fastest lap away from Mataman. Trying to do his bit for the team, but not quite able to this time. So let's see Mick, is this the time? He's within half a second of Laverick here. He is all on that energy now and he needs to try and make this one stick. Another big move down the inside. Here we go. A little bit of wheel banging, but that's fair enough. And now he gets the DRS and he's much closer alongside Laverick. But he's going to have to go the long way at turn 2. Laverick will hold it in the inside. A little bit of wheel contact. But that's just it. Laverick leaving the space there, allowing Mick to use that higher line. And he manages to defend that one off yet again. Mick though is very much not over with this one because he's staying right on Laverick now. as we're getting some blue flags, but I'm not quite sure what that's for, because this is for track position, so I'm not quite sure who the game is trying to give a blue flag there. But Codemaster's doing Codemaster's things as Mataman's about to take us on to second to last lap. Yeah, that is a good shout actually, SPW, because he does look a hard man to get the job done in the straights. But Mick goes for the exit now. He's closer to 4/10, and I think this is going to be the time now. DRS open, he'll go to the inside line, and he's much more alongside, although Laverick looking at that higher line. Could we see a cutback inbound? Mick's going to get the squeeze on, no, not make it easy for him. Will go as far as we see them come down the hill. Laverick still keeping his nose in beside him, but eventually concedes that position and slots in behind Mick, and that was a good couple of laps there between the boys. Some very, very good racing. And maybe Laverick's not over with this one either, as Mataman comes into the last sector for the second last time. So can Laverick stay within that DRS range through this middle sector on Mick, although Mick is catching up with Rodders, and I think Mick may get... Oh, Rodders is going to get out of the way. Fair play to him there. Doesn't have to do that, of course, as a ghosted car, and it's quite easy for guys to get through as long as you're just off the line a little bit. But Mataman takes us on to the last lap of the race. He's been utterly faultless today. An absolute machine, able to bridge that gap on the medium tyre after the safety car to get himself out to a safe distance to get the soft compound tyre on and go for that fastest lap of the race. He's going to take maximum points home this evening, and he has been utterly faultless. And I think without a doubt, definitely the driver of the day. Mick a close second. But Mataman has just been in absolutely another league this afternoon, or this evening. He showed in qualifying with a half a second gap, and from there he never looked back. And the second last corner for the last time, with one to go, he is going to take the checkered flag, and his championship road back on track. It's through the last corner he goes with a little weave, and he'll take the checkered flag and win in Hungary. Rob, our championship leader, is going to keep his biggest challenger at bay for the moment, but Mataman, of course, is going to close the gap back up a little bit. He should get back into P3, but Rob Wills will hold the championship lead and extend the gap a little bit to Matty behind him. Matty will get P3. A very good day in the office for Mika Lando. It's a shame about the penalties. He'll come home in P4. Mick will get that P4 after the penalties. Mika down to P6, and then Laverick gets P5. Skarma will come home P7, Yeri P8, Alvin P9, Leon 10. It's going to be Shivan P11, I think. Dale P12, Brown 13, Rodders Dixie P14, Rodders P15, and Keith P16. And I bet you that felt quite a long race for some there. And we will see if we can get our guys in for a chat. So where are we? Let's go to OTL. We can take this man. And where is Mr. Rob? Rob Wells, and then I just need to get Matty, and we are good. So we will get them in for a chitty chat, see how the races went. I think Matthew will be a very, very happy boy. I think seeing the pace of Rob will be pretty satisfied. He keeps Matty at bay. But we'll see if we can get them in for a quick couple of minutes. we going to have any joiners? Yes, we do. So we'll just start with the man who joins us, our race winner, Mr. Matoman.
Yes, hello.
A very, very, very good day in the office, sir.
It was indeed, it really was.
To extend that gap after the safety car on the medium compound tyre, to give yourself the opportunity to get in for that soft compound tyre, I think showed just how strong you were today. And that's why even before the race was finished, you got my driver of the day. There's not much to say other than dominant. Dominant is an understatement there.
Yeah, I felt really good around Hungary. I do like Hungary as a track as a whole. It's really good. So, I felt comfortable around there and felt quick. So, yeah, it was a really good race.
And of course, Matt, after a few weeks off, if you want to call it that, you've
Yeah,
come back in some very good fashion. Pole position, the race win and the fastest lap.
yeah, the triple threat. So, yeah, I think it's a turning point in a minute. So hopefully he carried on.
So is that your aim? Build from this and continue the momentum and show Rob and Matty that this championship challenge is not over?
Indeed, yes. That'll be the one. Trying to get back on top of the championship.
So I wish there was more for us to talk about, Matthew, after that, but you literally just drove away. Nothing really happened for you.
Yeah.
You had to get through a couple of guys on a safety car restart, although I think the lapped car eventually unlapped himself. But other than that, it was pretty plain sailing. It's probably exactly how everybody wants their race night to go.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. I was listening to you on the stream saying about getting the sauce. I didn't think about that at all. Really, I was thinking, okay, fastest lap's gone. Medium tyres feel really good, so I might just stay on these. And I thought, now I looked at the gap and thought, well, I'll have the gap to get in front.
Well, it was actually Mr. SPW that instigated it in the chat. He's obviously been paying attention to the championship, and he said, Matt, you could be doing with the fastest lap. And I said, that's when I thought about the gap myself, and I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely looking like he could get to that window where it would be possible.
Yeah, because I was pulling away. I realised I was pulling away. But I did originally think that the medium tyres would eventually die off and I'd be caught by a fault. And then I started building the gap and it kept building and building.
Oh, the medium is very, very good here. Such a good.
Yeah,
it's underestimated, I think, a little bit.
It is. Because I looked at, I think it was lap 20. I looked at my tyre deck and it was only at 26%. I was like, happy days. Alright,
yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing.
So, yeah, from that, Matthew, a faultless display today. Very, very, very good job. And I hope it continues. Not quite in so destructive fashion, because I would rather see you scrap it out.
Yeah.
But if this is the form you've found, then so be it.
That's it, man. Yeah, let's hope it continues. Thank you.
No worries, mate. Rob, or P2 man? Are you here,
Hello.
Mr. Rob?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Again, you kind of had Matty breathing down your neck for most of your stints, Rob, but it struck me near the end of the race that I think everybody knew Matterman was very clear. I think that was clear to see as well. So, did your focus just become Matty because you knew he was going to be coming through because you get split a little bit on the under the safety car, right? But Matty started to get through the traffic pretty quickly. Once he got behind, was it just defensive mode? He's your main rival at the moment. Matterman, of course, is I think about 50 points away. So if Matterman keeps this up, of course he'll come of concern. But at the moment, was it just keep Matty behind? That's a point being at the top.
Yeah, that's all I decided to do, because really that was very dull.
Yeah, it was quite it was a long old 36 laps.
That was just so boring. I had a bad start, I bogged down, it went into anti-stall, so I lost 2 places, I think, into turn 1. Got them back pretty quick, sat behind Paul and Matt for a couple of laps, which was a nice little battle. We passed Paul, went and followed Matt, realising we were 7 odd seconds behind. Safety car came out and then we just ran together and me and Matt were doing lap after lap, the same lap time. Gap stayed at 1.7 seconds for about 15 laps, then it went to 2, then back to 1.7. And at the end, I think after about 30 laps, we said to Matt, have you lost the will to live yet? Because this is just... He weren't catching me, I weren't catching Matt, and Matt were just driving away in another planet, pitting for softs, coming back out and disappearing again. So he was just done, and there was no point bothering about him, and Matty were just... Matty and me just had the identical pace the whole race. And once one got a little gap, that you were just never going to make it up. Because you couldn't get in DRS, and it was just a stalemate the whole race. If you'd got into DRS, then you've got a chance, but because we had such equal pace, it was just not a thing.
Yeah, it's going to be quite nothing really exciting to talk. Although Matty maybe had a bit more exciting racing, he had a bit more wheel to wheel, so maybe we'll get to him. But for you two at the top, yeah, it was, yeah,
possibly the dullest race we've ever had in this league. We don't have races that straightforward ever.
But from a driver's standpoint, to bank the points, to get yourself another bit of advantage to your main rival at the moment of the championship, you know. If you're going to have a dull race but still gain, that's fine, right?
And my 10th consecutive podium for the season, so I'll take that.
Wow, there's a start for you. 10 on the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And we're at round 11, that means you've only not podiumed one race this season? Wow.
Yeah, when Jock happened at Bahrain.
Oh, yeah, I remember that very well.
Yeah, other than that, I've been first, second, third every race. But yeah, other than that, I mean, Matt, just well done. You were just far too quick. I think you weren't driving. I think Jensen was, but I can't prove it. So that's my theory.
So very good job, Rob. P2, you extend that gap a little bit at the top, so that's the main thing. As boring as it was, points make prizes. Oh, so they say. Matty, are you here? Did you join?
Good evening.
A little bit of a more you had some drivers to get through in your race, so maybe you've got more to talk about. I know once you got behind Rob it just stuck, but we can maybe have a conversation about everything before that.
Yeah, the start I felt I had a pretty good start, but then going into turn when I clipped back up all, luckily no came of that.
Yep.
And then I think it would be behind safety car. I think there was it Brown Dog? I think Rob passed Brown Dog.
Yeah, and you get stuck there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I got stuck. I think there was an incident with Dixie as well.
Well, yeah, a couple of the guys obviously watching that on stream. I couldn't really blame anybody there. It was a tough one. I think the initial reactions, a couple of the boys that obviously watch the channel every week as well, was just kind of wrong place, wrong time for Dixie. You have a bit of an oversteer moment. It's not like you're violently bringing yourself back into track. And I said maybe from Adam's standpoint that's how it felt. But obviously you have that clear moment as you come over the curb on the trying to get back onto track in the exit of 3, and yeah, Adam just gets collected in the oversteer. I don't really. It's brutal, but I don't think it's your fault.
Yeah, from what I've just watched it, because I've watched it again, I clipped back a Brown Dog's wheel, and then I've gone onto the curb and I've oversteered back onto the track.
Yeah. And it's that
obviously
oversteer
Dixie was
that
going much faster
up.
than what I was.
It's a brutal incident, but from the initial standpoint, my judgment would be a racing incident, although Dixie's probably going to be pleased. But these things happen sometimes, you know, that's racing.
Yeah, and when stuck behind Rob, it was just painful, to be honest, because I knew there was no way of catching up to that DRS.
Yeah, and Hungary, like Stephen said it in the chat, unless you've got a big superiority in tyre or energy, nothing happens. And even if you do have a superiority in energy, you can get up there, but by the time you get there in that energy, it's all gone, and you can't really do much.
The only place I could gain on him was Sector 1 or 3, and as soon as he got to Sector 2, sometimes I was dropping like nearly half a second, so it was just impossible to balance it out. So
in a whole, Matty, it's maybe not the best day, but you still keep yourself well in the fight. You know, if you're not beating Rob, you need to be right there to ensure that you drag it out as long as possible. So maybe not the best day in the office, but a good enough day in the office, but we could call it that.
I suppose the way I look at it, as long as Matt Man's winning the races and not Rob,
There's always
even
a
though Matt
chance.
Man's catching me, we just need to catch Rob.
So there you go, Rob. What Matty is saying there is all eyes are on you, sir.
I'd rather have a freeway
I'm a hunted
battle.
man.
I'd rather have a freeway battle and all of us in chance of winning it.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want Mato Man never to show pace like that ever again. And you three just to tussle every race at the front for the rest of the season. That would be ideal scenario. I know that's probably not going to be the case, but we can pray and wish.
It would be fun though.
Good track coming up next as well, Belgium.
Oh, you go to Spa next.
We have a slightly confused calendar. We go to Spa and then Holland, so don't ask.
Belgium, then Dutch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's a week off as well in between that. So Miami Grand Prix.
Yes, there will be.
Oh yeah, because it'll come at the rubbish time of night. So, well done to all three guys up top. Mataman, you were in an absolute other league, and Rob and Matty, well done for just
staying away,
having the will for 36 laps to get to the checkered flag.
Yeah,
and
it.
Matoman, after your tough run of form, you were my driver of the day today. Mick made a good recovery though. He's definitely a notable driver. After getting what could we say in the politest way, shafted just a little bit in qualifying. He recovered well in his race to get P4, I think.
Yes, he did, P4.
So that was a good recovery for Mick as well. But Mataman was just absolutely in another league. And after his bad run, I think that should be recognised more. So well done to Matt, to Rob, and to Matty. You two need to stop finishing on the podium because it hurts my head thinking about your names too much. No mixing yous up. And until next Sunday for Spa, we will see you later. And don't forget OTL on Monday. Sorry, forgot about that.